So today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. In the last episode we saw stuff going all over the world, such as more colonization down here. We saw, I believe, the Japanese make a landing in Australia finally, and other things, and you may be wondering why is Siberia filled in. Well, I'll tell you now. I actually already recorded this episode, but I did not like how it turned out. So I'm just going to be re-recording this one, and I'm just going to say this is a very important episode, so if you guys do not want to miss this, because it's going to be very important for the future of this series. So yeah, definitely plan to enjoy, because you may see some good stuff happen. I don't know what I said there, but make sure to watch this one, because there's going to be some very big lore in this episode, and also something big might be starting. I'd also like to say this is the final episode of this era. I know it may seem a bit weird. It's not the end of the colonial era, really. Well, it is, but after this we'll be entering into the early modern era, and you'll see how that begins soon. Anyway, starting in Europe, we see like loads of skirmishes happening around this Line Team German border. We have one over here. This is a pretty bad one. About 100 casualties occur over here, and there's a few, but they're minor. There's only like 1 or 2 casualties in the others. This one is the main one we're talking about, as these two leaders will see that there's a lot of things, and they'll meet up in the capital of this neutral brown country here. And they will talk to each other for a bit, just kind of like reassuring each other that, you know, this wasn't a planned thing, this was a complete accident by other troops, and just a human error, I guess. Both of them will leave the meeting and head back to their capitals, but at the same time they just feel a bit kind of down about it. They don't really know what's going on, but at the same time, it's just like big hate going on in this area. So all of these alliances and all these tensions happening in the world at the minute, it's really paying off. Like, it's just not great, really. I honestly don't know what I'm yapping on about at the minute, but just saying, this area is starting to get extremely heated, and those border tensions and that meeting may have just made things even worse. As these guys, or the Italians, are feeling quite unsafe, that the Germans are going to try and jump them. This is because the attack over here, or the skirmish, was by a German, or was started by the Germans. These guys are just scared that they might not get the first jump, and they may be taken out quite quickly. If there even is a war, these guys actually don't even know if the war's going to happen yet. It's still quite 50-50. Just to be reassured, they're going to add a country that really hasn't done anything in the series yet. But as you can see, if you kind of paid attention to where the members are in this alliance, it's kind of a northern southern European split in a way. All of southern Europe is basically under the Diamond Alliance, and all of northern Europe is pretty much in the Triangle Alliance. So the I guess you could call these guys a Southern European Pact and a Northern European Pact, but the Diamond Alliance is going to reach out to a country in Northern Europe to see if they want to join their alliance. This is a very neutral country who really hasn't done anything in history, and I'll reveal who that is now. As these guys are going to reach out to Ireland to join their alliance, and they will accept. This is mainly because the Irish are tired of German control over the island. They did get independence a while ago, but they're very fractured, as you can see. They own like land here, they own land here. It's not very easy country to live in. So the Irish hope that they can take over the rest of this German area. They already own most of the populated areas, so the rest of this is kind of just farmland in this universe. There's a few cities here and there, but Ireland took most of the populated land. In fact, they have the 3 most populated cities, this one, and this one. This one is the most populated, second most populated, third most populated. Don't know why I had to explain that, but yeah, Ireland is hoping, if there is a war, that they get to take over, or take back all of Ireland, or take all of Ireland, I don't know what I'm saying. So yeah, stuff going on over here, and tensions building in Europe. Not just in Europe, it's over the world as well. These skirmishes are going to start reaching out to Asia, as something happens down here. And yeah, it's going to be much of the same what happened over there in Europe, but they are very cautious about why there's so many skirmishes happening in a minute. It's not nearly as bad as the one in Europe. There's only about 20 casualties in this one, but it's still something to be cautioned about, because what's going on. Anyway, down here, there's going to be a weird event happening, kind of. And there's Oman doing something a bit weird. Now, this is a bit weird, but the Star Economical Alliance is going to start to take on a bit of a democratic route. And it's quite quickly, a lot of these countries are going to be switching over to democracies. And yes, I need to update this alliance map, I'll do it soon. We see the red team, the brown team, and this country all switch over to democracy. These guys don't really have to. The Yemenis country is already a full democracy. These guys are flawed democracies, but they're very close, and some of them actually will be full democracies. So the red team will become a flawed democracy along with these guys, but the brown team will stay a flawed democracy for now. That's only until they can, I don't know, they can take, or just kind of, I don't know, I'm in lots of words at the minute. I don't know what's going on, but until they can fully change their government, but they haven't quite completed yet. One country that's not going to accept is actually going to be Oman down here. They want an empire, and I guess these guys are kind of forcing Oman. They're like, come on, man, you gotta do this to change your democracy. And Oman's going to keep saying no. So eventually the other side, fine, we'll just kick you out of this Star Alliance then. And Oman is very angry about this. So, Oman is going to decide to do them something, and they say, well, if we can't have this alliance, if we're basically dead to the Arabian countries now, which we want to be quite close with, we will just have to start a big war down here. And who knows, maybe we could pull it off, maybe we could get support of some bigger powers around the world to try and help us out, maybe. So Oman will start to invade the purple country over here, sticking to the border areas and going along the coast, capturing the capital in a few days, or weeks actually. Oman is actually a very strong nation, and they're able to do this quite quickly, and the Star Alliance is like, what? Because they are an economic alliance, but at the same time, they don't like this, what's going on down here? And they'll say, right, if you attack any of our other members, we're going to let you off this time, but if you do this again, then we're going to retaliate. Oh god. They start to invade into the brown team now, and the Star Alliance is not having it. They say, right, okay, let's declare war on these guys. So the red team over here is going to start their invasion of Oman to try and stop the, I guess, they are a monarchy, but they're kind of a complete monarchy. There's no power held by like there's no senate, it's just completely full monarchy. We're also going to see Oman invade into the holy country over here. This is a very controversial thing, even in their own country, because you're invading into the area that, I don't know, you're invading into the birthplace of civilization. So yeah, they're going to actually take these guys over. They are relatively weak. They are pretty much fully protected by the Star Alliance. I wasn't really thinking about getting invaded through here, so they didn't really have any troops on this border. Then the Omanis are going to start to invade through the brown team, and they're actually doing extremely well, because there's no reason, they have a very good military. It isn't anything compared to the red teams though, so they're going to be able to kind of shoot across the desert, so yeah. I also want to say we're in the year 1650 at the minute, just in case anyone was interested, so yeah, that's the year we're in. We do see Omanian forces, Oman forces reach over here, and now I want to say that the Oman military is the second best in Arabia. The red teams is the best, but these guys are the second best. It's so good to the point where they are going to be able to invade into the Yemenis Union over here, and they actually do extremely well sticking to the coast. They're continuing their invasion into the brown team, capturing this major city, which is a pretty important one over here, and they start sprouting out and grabbing a few more. And these guys are actually doing extremely well, and all these countries in the world are like, huh, these guys are actually doing very well here. I've said very well a lot of times, but they are curious and why these guys are doing such a good job around here. And yeah, they're just going to be able to sort of come around and do more stuff like this. Even capturing this city over here. And then Caspia is going to join the war. They refrained at first because they're not really in on all this thing. They don't have to change to a monarchy. Most of these countries did have to, except for the Holy Country, because they are kind of like a democracy, but at the same time, it's kind of weird. They're like the Vatican City. They have a pope, so it's like what happens there. It's not the pope; it's called the Holy King, but they have so it's like exactly the same how Vatican City works normally. So yeah, just saying that. These guys are going to officially now declare war on Oman, and Caspia has got a pretty good military, so they are going to be able to help the red team out down here, sending some forces that are quite well trained in the desert to do this. We also have the Omanis actually doing quite well against the Yemens now, or the Yemenis, and getting quite close to this capital, and a pretty brutal battle we fought over here. It's surprisingly going to end in an Omani victory, as the Omanis are going to just take over this, and they now pretty much have an empire stretching across all of southern Arabia. And they're going to continue across this over here, cutting off Qatar from the rest of the country and getting close to the capital here. And this is going to be another bloody battle. First they're going to go up into Qatar and conquer that whole thing, and there's going to be a bloody battle here, but it's going to end in an allied victory here, and then a lot of these troops are going to be cut off in Qatar over here. We are going to see the Omanis start to spearhead up towards this major city, and they're hoping to kind of do a double spearhead. They have actually really good war tactics, the Omanis, so they're able to do quite well, and they're even going to continue into the Yemen country over here, and we're actually going to see this country kind of just capitulate over to the Omanis, weirdly enough. And from there they're going to start their own front into the red team, sticking along the coast, and this is like the first time in ages of the red teams getting invaded. Actually no, they did have the Persian thing, but getting invaded from this area down here, like wow. All these areas are pretty much changed like sister republics to Oman at this point, and yeah. But the red team push down here is going to continue doing well, and they are actually extremely good. And this is a very back and forth war in a way, because it's one side the Oman winning, one side the red side is winning. And I actually really like this war. I don't know why. It's probably one of our favourite wars we've done yet. Besides like probably my favourite minor war I've done yet. Not gonna lie, and it's a big regional conflict. But we're gonna see now the double spearhead actually pay off, and they manage to capture this large amount of land here and re-meet up with Qatar. And yeah, it's not going good for the red team. Weirdly enough, I don't know how they're losing this war. They're just not really on the game at the minute. So a few countries don't really want to see such a holy site be taken by these guys over here. So we're going to see some funding go from some pretty large powers such as Russia. We see Egypt start to fund this, even though they're not even like the same religion of any type. But you know, same thing with Russia. But everyone knows this is a very holy site, so yeah. We see nations like Japan start to fund the red team as well. And Djibouti is going to join this war to try and stop the Omanese. And Djibouti is actually a pretty strong nation, so they're going to jump over here to the Yemenese country and recapture the capital. And yeah, this capital ain't very defended by the Omanese or in just general. But the Omanese are going to be able to move some of their forces out of Yemen as they decide to now focus on this red front here, trying to get all red troops out of the country so they can start their own invasion. And then they kind of want to do a circle, like going around and then invade down into here. I'm not sure how well that will work, but they think it can work, so they're going to try and do that. We do see the brown team push back and actually capture all of Qatar. This is a pretty historical pushback now, and this is going to actually be stalemated for about a year. And in that year, these Djiboutian troops are going to start marching across Yemen, capturing a lot of countries down here, or cities down here, then spearheading up to over here, to this place, and yeah, they'll meet up over here, and they'll then start their own front into the Omanese country, starting to kind of drag along the coast, threatening the capital. Then see for somehow the old Persian countries on this war, they are a red team ally, so they're going to let some of their troops come down now and start their invasion back into the holy country. So doing this and coming out through here, and the Omanese know now that it's pretty much over, so they could just surrender at this point and basically keep their position, but they're going to decide to stay or fight to the end. Not really going to lose too much land in this peace deal, probably, but the government's definitely going to be changed. So what's going to happen is all these countries are just going to try and invade. I don't know if this is the exact colour, but who really cares? But they're going to try and re-liberate this country here. So yeah. Actually, I'm just going to say these guys aren't even back. So this is like Persian occupied land, even though they're not going to annex it. Obviously, they're just going to give it back to the red team. So yeah, as you know. So we see the green team push back around into this Oman country here. Or this, I guess, eastern Oman. And the red team will invade back into the Omanese, or the big Oman country, the strong one. And this stalemate is finally going to be broken as loads of troops from foreign countries are going to start pouring into here, as we don't really want to threaten the balance of power in Arabia, which is a weird thing to say, but yeah. Usually you say threaten the balance of power in Europe, but here it's in Arabia, so the brown team is going to be able to push back down here, and in a few, maybe weeks or months, they'll probably be able to kick these guys out of the country entirely. Down here, the red team has managed to make a connection up with the Indian Ocean. I'll now start a special operation to get to the Oman capital, and this is going to be quite deadly. There's quite a lot of troops defending this area. It's a pretty down defended capital, alright. It's not very easy to get past. In the meantime, all this area is going to be captured, and now this area is completely kind of, I guess, lost for Omanese control. So what's going to happen is the red team is going to be able to re-invade into this, and we see a bit of an occupation now. This will just be now occupied and, I guess, reformed into the old country that was here. And see the red team finally managed to get really close to the capital, get into the gates. As that's happening, the green team will start to invade from the other side of the coast as well. And the brown team is going to do a lot of work, and there's pretty much no troops fighting up here now, so the brown team will actually be able to push this back quite easily. And start their own campaign into the Omanese, sticking around their border areas mainly, and they're going to basically leave the rest of this up to the green team. They're going to take the city, and they want to get it in the peace deal. The red team then is going to fight one of the bloodiest battles in this war, and the final battle in this war in the capital city of Oman, which will end in an allied victory, and the official surrender of Oman will happen now, as the king will surrender and be probably housed in a foreign place somewhere else. You know, as I said, technology is advanced this time, and we also have, like, I guess, better humanity around. It's probably, technology is around 100 years later, so this is around 1750s technology in the 1650s, but they are going to just house the king in, like, some other place, like maybe on this island down here. They're going to put the Omanese king on this island and keep him there forever. So yeah. And this is kind of like a mini Napoleonic Wars in a way, if you wanted to call it that. But that's kind of what I was going for in this war, and I think it was quite good. I quite like this war. But anyway, let's take a look at a peace deal. So in this peace deal, not much land change will actually happen, but the Yemenis will first have their government changed back to this, or into a democracy. Let's see the Yemenis gain this for all of the occupation they've been through. We then have the purple team here getting this land. The brown team is going to get this city here, the one they wanted. And Oman is just going to be left alone now, put back into the Star Alliance with the new government, and they are no longer as strong. They're forced to kind of keep a smaller military, and they're no longer the second strongest country in Arabia. That would now probably go to the brown team. So yeah, humanity is starting to be kind of used around here. I mean, not humanity, but I guess you could call it diplomacy. There wasn't really too much land change in this war, besides a few things, and I guess now we're just starting to get away from loads of land being taken, and more into a nicer era. So yeah. The Napoleonic, which wasn't a Napoleonic Wars, but it was a mini Napoleonic Wars, is kind of finished now. So yeah. Anyway, just coming a little bit east of that over to India, we see an economical alliance be made, as the Indians are going to form an alliance here, and we're going to see a few countries join in on this. The first one to join is actually going to be Bangladesh. They are a very strong country militarily, but economically they are kind of lacking, so they're going to join this hopefully to improve their economic thing and use India's currency now. And then we also see the Lime country here join. They are actually in a very bad position, as you can see by not the religion layer, but the terrain layer. They are mostly in the Himalaya mountains, so they're going to join this alliance to hopefully get more help from India to, I guess, settle down and just be their own country. And hopefully, you know, India is quite a nice country around this time. They're no longer expansionist in a way that they used to be. They now focus on diplomatic matters, and that is what the world is kind of leaning to at the minute, as we have a lot more democracy is becoming a very popular idea. It's been about a year since all those weird skirmish things started to happen. Actually, no, it's not been a year. It's been about, I'd say, 3 years since all those weird skirmish things have happened. In that 3 years, we already had the war down here, but there's more stuff kind of going on around the world now. We're going to take a look at a little bit of colonization before we get into our main topic of today's video. As we see a lot more land start to get colonized around here, as the exploration is going to get very good, and the Germans are going to actually find out that these islands are linked down here, as the British will start to try and discover this at the same time as the Germans, and they'll manage to meet up with each other around here, and they'll decide, hey, let's just try and use our forces to explore the rest of Canada, and they manage to explore quite a lot of the northern areas around here. Gear is getting quite good around these times, and they're kind of starting to figure out more what's going on around this northern area here. So we're going to see a bit of a peace deal be formed between a few countries now. And around here now, this is what the treaty is kind of going to look like. As the French are going to take this land here, as I think I said a few episodes ago, the Portuguese are no longer colonizing in North America. They are pretty much focused a lot more on South America. Although there's just some major cities here of what happened in that episode that I really didn't like, so I didn't post it. But yeah, so I'm going to get rid of some of these major cities that for some reason still exist, and I should have definitely got rid of them at the time, but I didn't. So yeah, just saying, if you see any out, that was because it was from the former episode. So yeah, the French will take this land. We then have the Japanese taking all of this. Now colonizing Alaska a lot more. They are quite focused on this area at the minute. They also discover these islands and take them. So yeah, they are able to just expand a lot now, because there's no other competitors really for Alaska, so they're going to be able to take a lot. Then have the British being one of the last to expand, as they're going to take this land here, surprisingly, and make a deal with the Germans, whereas the Germans are going to get this island here, and they can't expand any more down south than this island, so they're going to kind of take a few more areas in the north here, and then they're going to leave the rest up to the other countries to the side, as they are more focused on their Brazilian colony, so they're not really caring about this northern area. So they'll take all this land and they'll decide to no longer expand into this cold area. Anyway, North America is getting very close to being fully discovered, and we may see it happen in a couple of episodes. Anyway, now moving back to Europe, as something pretty tragic is going to be happening. Down here in the French country, they're doing some border checks around this area, and accidentally the French are going to march into Italian territory. This is when tensions are extremely high, as another event has just happened, as there was a little bit of a skirmish over here in Hungary as well. This is the first skirmish in a few years, and these countries are starting to be like, right, something's going to go down now. But these French troops are going to march in around here, and they'll notice as they go to this is like a little town here, and they notice that this is not a French town, this is an Italian town, so they're going to start to move back. They move back around this area. Somehow they manage to get out of the border checks, in a way. But they come back to here, but then something bad happens, as there are some troops around here with one of the best generals from the Italian country. Now, these two will start talking a bit, saying, hey, we didn't know we were in this country, it's wrong, blah, blah, blah. But then the Italians will accuse them of trying to invade them. The French are like, what? No, we weren't trying to do that. We wouldn't want to try and do that. Like, why would we want to start a massive war which could spiral out of hand? But then it'll start to get a little bit violent, as one of the French troops is going to slap one of the Italian troops. And they start to get into a bit of a fight, and then everyone starts to get into a fight. And this is one of the worst skirmishes yet. But then it starts to get a bit violent, as guns will be shot. Not really as, I guess, not really to kill anyone, but more to scare them away. But something bad happens here, as one of the French troops will accidentally shoot at the world-class general, not world-class, but a really good general that the Italians have, if one of their best generals, probably their second best general. He'll be shot in the back, and he'll unfortunately die. And this is going to be known as the shot that shot the world. And what happens here is the troops are going to actually flee, and they'll go to this city, and they'll talk to the kind of mayor of this city, telling them, hey, we just had bad thing, the general is dead, he was shot by French troops in an aggressive way. This information will now be given to an ambassador, who, or not an ambassador, but into a high member of staff that is in the city at the minute, and he'll go down to the king of the Italian country and present him this information, and he'll say, this is an act of war, and yeah. So now Italian troops will start to march into the French, along with the Diamond Alliance being activated for the first time in centuries now. I won't say centuries, but the French Union will also start their invasion of the French country. And the Italians will say at first, this is a defensive strategy. We are defending ourselves against the French here, so don't get in this war, the Triangle Alliance. The Triangle Alliance isn't having any of it. And they see, what the French say. They say there is an accident, complete accident, and they're getting invaded now, and they really want some help. So the German king will take a long, hard decision, and it'll take a few days for him to come up with this decision as the French are getting invaded. He will in the end come out in a stadium in front of thousands and people in his capital, and he will say this: as you know, the other day the French country was attacked unprovokedly. Is that even a word? But they were attacked without a reason, with a reason, but it was a false reason, and we are not having any of it. So we say now, in front of the whole German people, or all of the German people, that the Triangle Alliance will officially declare war on the Diamond Alliance. And this will start now World War One. This war will be the most brutal war scene in the series yet, as many top powers will be getting involved in this war, and it's going to be extremely deadly, with many things happening in this which will change the world forever. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching today's video. This is going to be, the next episode is going to be a really big episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.